Hey there. Now that we have wallets and transactions in this cryptocurrency, let's move on to the next big aspect. And that aspect is going to be a new object, which is called the transaction pool. So let's go over what the transaction pool is, how it's going to be used, and why we need the transaction pool in the first place. Okay, the transaction pool is a data structure which is going to collect the transactions that are created by wallets throughout the network. The inner implementation can be anything that you like. It can be an array, or it can be a map with a key value structure. Overall, it can be anything as long as it supports three main behaviors. One, it collects a unique set of transaction objects. Two, it can update already existing stored transactions when a change has been submitted by a wallet. And three, it can rewrite multiple transactions in the inner collection, whether that means replacing the collection with an entirely new set or clearing the pool itself with a handful or all of its transactions. So how is this transaction pool going to be used? Every node in the network is going to have their own instance of a transaction pool. Like the blockchain, everyone is going to have their own running version of the pool, but the key is making sure that all of these transaction pools stay synchronized. When one node creates a new transaction, or updates an existing one for that matter, the transaction is going to have to be broadcasted to the entire network. Based on the transaction ID, it will either be added to each transaction pool if it's new, or it's going to be updated if a transaction with that ID already exists. Ultimately, the transaction pool is a great and useful object because it's going to enable miners to get an accurate list of recent transactions in order to include them within a new block. When looking to add a new block to the blockchain, a miner is going to use the transactions in the pool as the data for a new block to mine. Okay, so that about wraps it up as far as what a transaction pool is, how it's going to be used, and then why it's needed. With that, let's actually build a transaction pool and incorporate it into our overall application next.